Okay, guys, today I'm popping in to share with you something really important. I've been on the phone lately with a lot of moms who have stayed in overwhelm for too long. And what we see when people get to that point of total depletion is it's affecting their health, it's affecting their relationships with their kids. Kids are starting to go into fight mode. They're starting to feel overwhelmed. A lot of times when people have really sensitive kids, they're sliding into depression. So feeling not accepted, not loved, because there's so much tension and chaos in the house. So when we dial that back and look at what's going on in you as mom, what we can identify is particular patterns that are keeping people from choosing something to help them get out of overwhelm. And so today I'm going to cover three reasons why moms get stuck in overwhelm so that you can identify where this might be going on for you, which is a really important first step to deciding to change it. Okay, so let's just dive right in. Number one, we're going to talk about the biggest reason that I see, which is that often people just ignore the signs. They don't know the signs. So this is why I'm coming in. I help moms to eliminate overwhelm and anxiety in 12 weeks or less. The process that we do that in is to meet people right where they are. So we're seeing everything from many years of the impact of feeling exhausted and depleted to just more recent sort of pandemic problems like frustration, irritation, yelling at kids, feeling like I'm not enjoying it. What's the point? Kind of thing. And so, what I see a lot of is people, moms, feeling like they don't feel good. They don't feel like themselves. They've kind of lost that sense of self that they had, either a few years back or before having kids, even, and they've been ignoring the signs. So some signs you may be having that you might be ignoring are irritability, are physical pain, a lot of back pain, a lot of neck pain. So when you don't know how to process your emotions to be free of that, then, which is most humans don't know how to do that. You have to learn it. The pain goes into the body, so certain muscle groups will hold that stress and tension for you. I see a lot of neck pain. I see a lot of back pain, a lot of generalized like fibromyalgia or autoimmune disease that switches on. So when you've been in fight or flight for a long time, that's what we call survival mode, or overwhelm is another word for that. It takes its toll on the body. That's sort of like there's a lot of junk in the channels. Things have gotten backed up. You don't know how to process out of them, and when you don't know how to break free of those, you stay in it. Your body will your brain will sort of generalize it. So what happens is you kind of generalize the suffering or struggle or pain you're in, and or try to kind of compartmentalize it. And what happens is then you ignore the signs because it's so difficult to really be present with how you feel when you're in pain, when you're hurting, when you are feeling sad or like you're failing at home. That's a hard state to stay in for more than just a glimpse. So when you don't have the bandwidth for that because you're overwhelmed, then your brain tries to generalize it for you. And the result of that is I am just trying to tune out the pain I'm feeling. I'm tuning out my kids whining, crying, or demanding because I don't know how to deal with it. I'm tuning out my partner's judgment or pressure of me or lack of engagement. I'm just tuning it out because it's too hard to look at it and it's too painful. But then what happens is if you do that long enough, either you'll have something will take its toll on your health, you'll have a health crisis, or your relationship uh, uh, is going to feel so strained. So again, you might see a child start to really struggle with anxiety. You may see a teenage girl becoming depressed. We are all connected. We are all part of a system. So when it comes to family, you are not a lone thread. All of the threads are connected and they all move in cooperation with each other. And so if one family member is depressed or one is anxious, if you are overwhelmed, your children are going to feel it. They're going to turn it into something. That's just the way we work in a family system. So what are you ignoring is my first question to you. What are you ignoring? That's the first thing to start to notice. What am I generalizing or tuning out because it's too hard to really come face to face with that truth that I have felt like crap for 2 years, for 3 years. I have been talking about the same problem in therapy for 2 years and it is not resolved yet. That's a problem, you guys. I wouldn't want to be paying someone who wasn't going to help me to resolve a problem. So, what are you tuning out? What are you numbing out? What are you ignoring that is your body or your emotions or your family that's trying to tell you and show you, hey, there's a problem here and we need to know how to fix it. Okay. The second thing that moms do that keeps them in overwhelm is they downplay. So a lot of folks um, who really like to keep the peace, who like to a lot of highly sensitive women, a lot of my clients are highly sensitive, do this. I would rather pretend like that's not happening. I would rather just minimize it or downplay it because it feels like it's going to create more work than I have the energy to do if I were to really acknowledge how big this problem is of me feeling unhappy, of my children ruling the roost, of me not knowing how to set a boundary and hold it. If I were to really come clean about that, I might feel even more overwhelmed. That's what the overwhelmed brain says. It's really a lie though, you guys. It's a very mental, big mental trap of overwhelm. If you're downplaying or minimizing, ignoring signs, usually your brain is going to tell you that it is because you can't handle really coming face to face with the truth of how you are struggling. And the reason why is because you don't know how to fix it yourself. And it's better to see that than not see that. It's better to go, oh, I just don't know how to solve it, but look at what's going on, because otherwise you're going to have a bigger problem on your hands. You're going to have something is going to get harder in the family system or inside your health that's going to give. None of us were put on this earth to scrape by so that we could like make it to the finish line having helped our kids survive. That's not what motherhood is meant to be. It is meant to be a place where we get to receive so much joy, enjoyment, laughter, play, fun, ease, spontaneity, co-creation with our kids, with our partners, with our families, and just to be able to relax and enjoy life is not it is not something that like only a few get to have. It is a thing that all of us have the potential to have access to. However, motherhood doesn't come with a handbook and there's no map. And so when you realize, oh my gosh, I don't know how to parent this kid who's really tough, or I don't know how to deal with my partner, the way he approaches parenting. Um, we've gotten this far with me just kind of saying, I'll do it all myself. And then at some point, it's like, the scales are going to tip and you're not going to be able to keep going like that. So if you've hit that point, then let's just take an honest inventory. What are you downplaying or what have you been downplaying because it's survival mode and having to just keep going, having to feed the kids, having to go to work, having to provide, right? Or what signs are you ignoring that really are not normal just because your friends are venting about the same thing? They are common problems mothers are facing, but that doesn't mean they're normal, and that doesn't mean that um, that it's okay, and it doesn't mean that you have to keep doing it that way. All right. The third thing, this is the third reason why mothers stay in overwhelm for months turn into years, and that turns into a decade. I've had a lot of clients who are around my age who have teenage kids, and they have been overwhelmed since they had teenagers. And this has affected their health. It has affected the family their children grow up in. And then we're working to heal the things that are there, like regret and grief, and how to start fresh from that point is it takes a lot of, it takes courage, to be able to really own that and say, I'm not going to keep going like this. And so the third reason is a thought, a mental thought that a lot of women have, especially those of you who have been successful in many other areas of your life, and you assumed motherhood would be the same thing for you, that you would have it your way, that people would grow up and be happy, that they would appreciate the way you're taking care of them, that you'd be able to work and do family and enjoy both and not feel torn between the two, and you have found that the reality feels very different, then this is for you. A lot of high achievers, highly successful women will wake up one day and think, I know I have a problem. I'm acknowledging it. I'm not downplaying it. I'm saying this can't keep going on like this, but I don't know what to do about it. And then they hit a wall in their thinking that sounds like, I should be able to figure this out on my own. What's wrong with me? So then they go straight from, I have a problem, into, I'm beating myself up now because I have a belief that says my mom could do it, or whoever. Looking around you, my neighbor's doing it. She seems happy. Uh, People on social media look capable. And when you look in the mirror, you're unhappy, and you see yourself, hear yourself yelling at your kids, and you think, I should be able to stop this. I've taken parenting courses, I've done things, I should be able to control myself. And yet, you don't know how to do it. Can you notice that just having the thought, I should be able to do this on my own, reinforces the overwhelm? It's like, that's exactly why you need someone outside of you to show you the path out. Because if you're buying into a belief that says I should be able to do it on my own, you're no different from a person who needs brain surgery and then says I should be able to perform brain surgery on myself. I mean, I don't have the skills or the decades of experience, but I just expect myself to be able to perform miracles on myself. Really, we can laugh about that because we would never think that. And yet, when it comes to mental emotional health, or becoming a mom who feels happy and healthy and knows how to overcome tough emotions and help her kids to overcome tough emotions, so that the EQ is there, so that people thrive, so that people are happy and connected, then that is a time to reach out for expert help. So if you guys are hearing this and thinking, that's me, and yes, and I do want these changes and I need the roadmap, then get on a call with me. Just reach out. You're also welcome to message me. You can message me through Facebook and we can chat that way first, as well as just reaching out to book a call. That link is www.honorjanetsky.com. You can get onto my calendar for a free clarity call, and we'll map out for you what it's going to take, exactly what it's going to take for you to be able to break free of overwhelm and anxiety for good. And if I can't help you, I will steer you to someone else who will. Okay. Sometimes you guys reach out and it's not a perfect fit. But if you are hearing this and it's ringing true for you, then I just encourage you to reach out for a conversation. I'd be so happy to help and support you to coming to clarity about what you're really stuck in and what are the patterns and what needs to happen for you to change and move out of that. Our system we use is for a very particular type of client with a very particular type of problem. It is not a one size fits all. And so just know that we'll have a conversation about that and go from there. So lots of love. And please leave your distinctions below this video. Leave me some comments and let me know what's going on for you. Are you stuck in any of these three things? And we'll go from there. All right. Have a beautiful day.